I'm Doug Trentowski. I'm the competition coordinator for the Royal Life Saving Society. Basically what you're seeing is the New Brunswick Lifeguard Championships held at Market Square and at the Canada Games Aquatic Centre, February 23rd. This is a trial run for the Canadian Championships that we're holding here in May of this year, May 8th through the 11th. With the Lifeguard Championships, basically we do pool sits, first aid events, priority assessment events, relay events, swimming relays, and then an Ironman event. In the National Championships in May, we're also holding some events at the beach, New River Beach, involving rowboat, paddleboard, and some beach sprints. Okay, what's happening now? The team is just coming in from lockup. They're coming in for the situations.
Lifeguard team.
This lifeguard team is from Fredericton. So they were just brought in from lockup. They're briefed by someone that is involved in the situation to cue them in that there is a situation here in the gym. They come in, and basically with this, it's a 5-minute first aid situation. In this, they assess the victims that they have and treat them according to what they see. We have different judges scoring each person, looking at the assessment that they do, the treatment that they do, that all the treatment is done in priority, and that it's done correctly. So what we've got here right now, in this situation, it's a gym that could be in a typical multi-purpose facility, like an aquatic center with a gym or whatnot. There's been an accident in the gym involving 3 people. One person in front of us, in the pink and black, has injured her hips. She's got a broken hip. She's also got a laceration to the head. So the person that's dealing with her would be checking for breathing initially, treating the bleeding, and then going over a secondary assessment and treating the person accordingly. Another victim that we have is a recess Annie. So basically this person is non-breathing. They've got a blocked airway. So when the rescuer tries to ventilate, it won't go in. So with that person, they find that they've got a blocked airway. They would do a clearing for the blocked airway, and then they would find that they have to do CPR. With the last victim, person on the weight bench, they drop the weights on their chest, so they've got fractured ribs on their right-hand side. So this person has difficulty in breathing and is faint and in a shocky state. So initially, the rescuer that's dealing with the person on the weight bench has done an initial assessment, checked for airway, breathing, circulation, checked to see their level of consciousness, and then starts a triage or body examination, working from the head down. So they check the head down through the trunk of the body or the core of the body, down through the legs, check the arms, check the eyes, skin color, temperature, ask them questions, and try and keep in contact with them to see if they're losing consciousness. The other rescuers are dealing with the CPR victim. So there's 2 people doing two-man CPR on that victim as well. The person that's in the pink, the rescuer is also checking for any medical alert or any other injuries that they may have. So they've checked the upper body, checked for bleeding, dealt with the bleeding, made sure that they had an adequate airway, and is now starting on the body examination. So when they get down to this point, they should find that there's an injury. This is one aspect of the lifeguard competition, the first aid simulation event. They also deal with pool sits, priority assessment treatment, then they do some physical events as far as a 4x100 and a iron guard event. This event is basically worth 20% of the total, 100% that they can achieve. And in the 5 minutes, once they've done their assessment, treatment, then they would do up a little score sheet or tally sheet on their victims that they have. So the lifeguards that are dealing in this event have to be well-rounded. They have to have first aid, have to have CPR knowledge as well. They have to be able to recognize different injuries, deal with the injuries, and and then treat for them as well. So basically their main job is preparation and stabilization in the first aid. With some of the victims, you may notice that they've got their gloves on. That is basically standard practice with any emergency service now, where with fire, police, ambulance, or lifeguards, they would wear gloves if they're treating with any injuries that involve blood or any types of body fluids. This competition, the New Brunswick Lifeguard Championships, as I said earlier, is basically a trial run for the national championships that we're doing here in May of 91. Basically, the national championships will run May 8th, 9th, 10th, and 11th with teams from all across the country competing.
Let's have a big hand for the 5th Lifeguard team.
So with this, their 5 minutes is now up, so the event is over, and then they will go on to another event. In this event, in the 4x100 relay, basically it's a physical event where each competitor of a team of 4 swims 50 meters and then they have to tow 50 meters. So with this, the first competitor takes off, they swim 50 meters. Usually in a national championships, it's a head-up freestyle. With this, where it's New Brunswick Championships, we just let it go and it's an open free. So they swim the first 50 free, touch the wall, then they pick up a victim. With this, each rescuer or each person on the team picks up a partner and they tow them or carry them for the 50-meter distance. With this, different lifeguards have different methods of doing their tows. Usually just an assistive carry is what they do, so it's a lot quicker. The team in the center, the team that's in the lead there right now, is the reigning New Brunswick Championships and basically the reigning Canadian Championship team. They're called the Wolf Pack. They won the national championships last year in Newfoundland, St. John's, Newfoundland, and they will be representing Canada at the Commonwealth Championships this year. So they have a very powerful physical team. Their technical skills are quite good as well. So here they are in the lead, and you can see that different competitors have different methods of doing their swimming or their tows. So the first team is touched, the next competitor is taken off for their swim. With this event, training for this event is sort of a long, grueling process. They have to get into the water and they have to train. They have to swim 3 to 5 times a week to get in shape for this. The team that I mentioned earlier, that is currently the reigning champions, most of those people on that team have been Canada Games swimmers in the past, so that helps with the swimming ability. With the rescuer towing the victim, basically the victim themselves cannot propel themselves in any manner at all, so they have to stay buoyant by trying to inflate their lungs, try and stay straight, do not kick, and basically offer no resistance, as little as they can anyways. The rescuer is pulling with one hand, doing a life-saving kick of some manner. They don't do a flutter kick or anything like this. It's a lot more powerful kick, and with this, they're able to cover a lot of distance in a short time. This is the second of the 4x100. And that's the start of the third 100 of the 4x100. My team's probably ahead by about 30 seconds right now. Usually in this event, in the national championships, instead of doing a direct carry like we're doing here, it's a tow event. So the rescuer does a 50-meter approach, carrying a rescue can, or towing a rescue can behind them. They bring it in, pass it to the victim, and then swim the 50 meters towing the victim along. So this is sort of an adaptation for the nationals. Okay, what we have here right now, this is the St. John Mako's lifeguard team from the Canada Games Aquatic Center. They're just coming out now to set up for the pool sits. They've got 1 minute to set up their positions and their equipment for the pool sit event. Basically, they've got about 9 minutes to guard, where there will be some minor events happen, major accidents, public relations skills, and little scanner things that they want to pick up on as far as rule breakers. So the first 1 minute, they'll go around the pool, check for any hazards, anything that should be picked up, cleaned up, check the equipment that's on deck that they may be using, and they get themselves in position ready to guard. So that takes up the first minute. Once they're in place, they would be given a signal to each other to let each other know that they're all set to go.
You are now responsible for the pool area.
So their 1 minute is now up. A couple of guards are on deck ready to go. They're set up, and now their situation will begin. During the situation, they'll be communicating both verbally, maybe by whistle, and then a lot through hand communications. So hand signals play an important role in this. So if they have a major accident, they can signal something without drawing a lot of attention to the situation. One of the important things that they're judged on in this is that they're scanning the pool, looking for any potential accidents, because their main job is prevention. Just there, they picked up on a girl swinging back and forth on the Tarzan rope, and maybe causing potential hazard where she may hit the deck if she drops off after swinging back. So the guard picked her up on that, talks to her, reassures her, and explains what she is doing and what she shouldn't be doing. Then he goes back to guarding and signals to the other guards that he's back in position. So in that situation, they're picked up on their reaction time, the scanning of the other guards in the situation, and then their communications. One of the biggest things in the pool sits is if they can prevent the accidents from happening, they would get a larger score than if they let something happen and they don't see the event happen at all. So during this 9 minutes, they know that things are going to happen. They know that they've got some minor accidents about to happen, major accidents, public relation things, so they're on edge, and they'll pretty well react to almost any little thing that they see. Down in the lap lanes, we've had two people collide, with one person get his eye poked. So there's a collision there, and someone has an eye injury. So with that, one of the guards has picked it up that something's gone on. One guard has gone in, while the other guard covers him. The guard that's gone in would ask him questions as to what happened, what the problem is, and then deal with it and do some treatment afterwards. So that is our minor situation there. At this point, the judges are moving in, and they would listen to what the lifeguard is saying to the patron, what information he's trying to find out, and he's being evaluated on that. As far as his treatment skills, public relations skills, and how he deals with the patron or customer themselves, or talking to them, or they're reassuring them what they're doing. So you can see a lot of movement as far as people moving around here and covering each other. Just here we had a little girl running from one end of the pool to the other, so there's potential hazard where she may slip and fall. So the lifeguard picked up on it, stopped her, talked to her, explained to her what she was doing and what she should not do because of the potential risk there. Also down in the lower comp pool right now, there are a couple of people that were throwing a ball at each other, so they're violently throwing balls at each other. Possibly they may hit someone else that's there in the crowd, so it's a little bit of rough play. So the guard picked up on that, explains to them the hazards of doing the thing that they're doing right now, tells them what they shouldn't do, and then puts them on their way. with that minor situation. They're calling something in via the phone judge, which is down at the far end of the pool. When they make a phone call with the phone judge, they basically explain the accident that they had, and they would only use the phone judge if they have to make a phone call to get EMS, ambulance, fire, police, whatever. So with this, they're judged on their phone call, how long it took them to make the phone call, if the phone call is needed, the information that they give during the phone call, and the questions that they may ask the people at EMS. What's happening now, we've got a situation up on the 5-meter board when someone's calling for help. The lifeguard goes up to see what the problem is. Before he went, he signaled the other guards so that they knew that he was going to be off deck and out of the guarding rotation. So he goes up, talks to the people, finds out that it was just a public relation thing where the people up there are just teasing the lifeguard. They want to get him off the deck, try and get his phone number. So they're just trying to basically get the guard's attention, which they've done because they've got him up in the 5-meter now. So once he finds out that all they wanted was just his phone number, there's nothing really major, and it's just a distraction, signals to the other guards that everything's fine, and he goes back on deck to resume guarding. As I said earlier, this is the St. John Makos from the Aquatic Center. So it's a home team here for the National Lifeguard competitions, New Brunswick Lifeguard Championships, which is a lead up for the May Canadian Lifeguard Championships that we're holding here at the Aquatic Center. The Canadian Lifeguard Championships will be held May 8th through May 11th here at the center, and we'll have teams from across the country representing every province. Here now we had 2 people on the float mats and bump heads, so we've got one person in the water face down, possibly unconscious, not breathing, with one person holding their head at the edge, with the lifeguard dealing with that now. In this situation, they're also assessed on how soon they react to an incident, which this incident was a little bit slow. The lifeguard picked it up, finally saw it, signaled, went in, signaled a major that there's a major accident where there's more than one guard involved. Dealing with situations, they're tied up, the other guards are going to clear the pool so that assistance can be rendered without endangering anyone else's lives, because the pool's not covered adequately by lifeguard supervision. So they just did a pool clear, getting everyone out so that they don't have to worry about people in the water and just deal with situations that they have on hand.
Once again, the situation in progress is a simulated emergency as part of the 1991 New Brunswick Lifeguard Championships. We ask that you give the lifeguard team on duty your full cooperation, and we'll have everybody back in the water in just a couple minutes. Thank you.
During these situations, when we do them in a public swim or a pool which has a general swim going on, it's important to do public relations with the customers that are in as well, letting them know that what we have going on is just simulations, that it's just something that we're evaluating, because some people really get into the situation as well and they want to help out. So with this, we keep them out for just a couple of minutes, we go back in, return to a normal swim, while the judges are evaluating the victims that are being assessed now. So now their time is up. At this point, the team would get their score sheets together, victim sheets as far as evaluating their victims, marking down vitals and statistics on them, turning them in, and then the judges turn in their sheets and they're evaluated and scored and ranked. Yes? Basically with this situation, it's called priority assessment treatment. There could be up to a dozen victims, or in some cases up to 20 victims involved in this situation. What happens in this, the lifeguards come in, they have 90 seconds to deal with the situations that they see, ranging from public relations items up to people injured with minor injuries, major injuries, life-threatening injuries. So where it is a priority assessment, their main concern is to try and deal with anything that is life-threatening. So they deal with the life-threatening victims first. With that, they get more points. Then they try and move on to anything that's minor. So they have 90 seconds to scan the whole pool area, pick up the number of victims that they have, and try and treat them within that time span. If they get all the victims, the higher points they would get along with their treatment, if they have good treatment with this event. And there's the 90 seconds. So it's a fast-paced event. They run around the pool and try and get all the victims within the 90-second time span, and it goes very quickly. Welcome back to the Aquatic Center, and the event that we're watching now is the Iron Guard event. With this event, basically it's a physical event. You just saw the lifeguards dive to the bottom of the deep end of the competition pool where it's 14 feet. They pick up a 10-pound brick, and with this they're required to carry it the 50 meters down to the shallow end. They went over the bulkhead, down to the shallow end of the competition pool, turn around and come back. Now you'll see a fellow here drop a brick to your far left. He'll drop his brick and he'll have to pick it up. So he's dropped his brick, picks it up, and he has to continue on with that to go over the bulkhead. Now carrying that 10-pound brick 100 meters is no easy feat, and swimming with it makes it a little bit harder. Closest to us we see Megan Seagrave. She's with the Fredericton Wolfpack. She was a Canada Games swimmer, and she's competed in a couple lifeguard comps before, Canadian Championships, and she's been the top female swimmer at these championships. The lifeguard furthest away from us that you see in the far part of the screen, with him, he just started to swim without the brick. He put it between his legs. So there's different methods of doing this. So some of the guards will carry the brick in their hand, others will put it between their legs and swim freely with it, and even some still are really creative and put it in their swimsuits, which is a different method of trying this. With this event, there's minimum rules. They have to carry the brick from one end to the other and back over the bulkheads, place it on the deck, and then continue swimming. Here we see Megan Seagrave again doing the final part of her Iron Guard. Before she did the 100-meter swim, she had to throw a flutterboard that you see beside her through a hoop or into a hoop, and then do her swim. So she's just finishing the last part of her swim there now. Once she touches, the second Iron Guard or second lifeguard goes, so it's a two-person team. So he dives to the bottom, recovers his brick, and then goes on his swim. Now this fellow again is a little bit creative. He put the brick between his legs, and he's swimming with the brick between his legs. The only problem with that, if they drop the brick, they have to go back for it and they lose time. So it's up to the guard how they do this Iron Guard. With this event, it's really not a technical event as far as really relevant to lifeguarding, but it is a physical event. It makes the lifeguards train a bit, keep their physical fitness up. So we use this as an event to just work on their fitness skills. Now this girl here that we see, she's carrying the brick in one hand, being cautious, and swimming with the brick in one hand. The girl that's swimming in front of us now is with St. Pat's from Moncton, St. Pat's Pool from Moncton, and she's also a synchronized swimmer. So she's on her way back, finished the final leg of her swim with the Iron Guard. This is a timed event. Basically with this, the two times are added together. You have a total time, and the fastest total time overall would win the event.
just saw a flutterboard being thrown into the hoop. If they get into the hoop, basically they get a bonus. They get a time bonus, so they may be deducted 10 to 15 seconds off their total time. So it's a skill that they're required to do as far as maybe rescuing someone, throwing a flutterboard to them. Reach, throw, roll, go, toe is sort of a slogan that we go with Royal Life. So with that, that's one aspect that is relevant to the lifeguarding. So here now we have two swimmers trying to finish off the last part of the iron guard. You'll find this quite difficult. It is very tiring and very physically demanding. The camera shots here provided by Don Ferguson with Fundy Cable. We really appreciate Fundy Cable doing this for us. So we're coming to the conclusion of the iron guard event here now.
That was basically the New Brunswick Lifeguard Championships held at the Canada Games Aquatic Centre and the Market Square Atrium, having the first aid event. With that, overall, with the first aid event, the Blue Curls, a team consisting of people from Newcastle, Fredericton, and St. John, won that event. The relays, both the 4x100 and the Ironman event, the team Wolfpack from Fredericton won both of those physical events. The pool situations, our home team from the Aquatic Centre, the Makos, won the pool situations. And then the priority assessment event, which was also held at the Aquatic Centre in the leisure pool area, that was won by the Fredericton Wolfpacks. So that's the conclusion of the New Brunswick Lifeguard Championships, a trial run for the Canadian Championships that are going to be held here May 8th, 9th, 10th, and 11th. We'd like to see you come down and watch and see the lifeguards in action. There's a lot of training that goes into this, and it's something special to see.